this beginner sequence, we need to be super comfortable with the prerequisites. If you're on my platform, those will be linked in the description on Patreon. But if you're not, come and join us. I have an incredible system for all levels, but particularly people starting out from their very first day onwards. So we're going to need a step around. We're going to need a cup grip pirouette. We're going to need a step around to hook. We're going to need a front hook. And I think that's most of the things we're going to need today. So the way it works when I do these kinds of sequences and small bits of choreography, I'm going to do a general breakdown. And I ask at this point that you just watch. Just watch, take in as much as you can. It's okay, it's going to be a lot, particularly if you don't have your prerequisites. It's going to feel very, very hard. Then we're going to go into right and left, and we're going to break it down in very, very, very slowly, each individual movement that I'm going to do. And at that point, you can maybe watch again, so you understand which arm and leg is doing what, and then you can join in with me at the same time if you like. I'm going to do a front view and a back view as well for both sides because different movements are clearer from different angles, okay? The back view is quite often the easiest to follow if you want to do it along with me. Okay, let's go for the general breakdown. So I'm going to start with the pole next to me. I like to start with my inside leg crossed over my outside leg and my outside hip slightly popped as a nice starting position. I'm going to step on my inside leg and I'm going to do 3 steps. So bearing in mind as well, I'm going to talk about angles before we really get into this. I'm going to talk about angles. So I want you to pick a point in your room to be your front or your audience. Okay, and you're going to position yourself in the same way that I am to your audience. This is going to make your videos so much better because so many things just don't look good unless they're from the right angle. Okay, so you guys are my front. I have a mirror behind you, my camera's there. This is my audience. So pole is next to me, outside leg is crossed over. I'm right up on my tippy toes, popping my outside hip, hand on hip. I'm going to step on my inside leg and I'm going to do 3 steps. Just 3 kind of little steps. 1, 2, 3. Now I want my back to my front or my audience. I'm going to take my outside leg and my outside hand is going to come onto the pole and it's going to do a big circle. This is our step around. So remember, your inside leg needs to glue to the floor. This foot here is not coming off the floor until this one, this outside leg here, comes to join it. I'm going to stick my bum out and I'm going to swap my feet. As I swap my feet, I'm going to turn my hips to face the pole and my leg that was my inside leg is now going to just hook onto the pole. And you can see that it's just on the inside of the thigh. And I'm sideways onto my audience now. I'm going to pop my hip closest to the audience to give a better bum view. I'm going to take my opposite hand to knee and I'm going to straight down and up. If you wanted to, you could make it kind of hair flicky as well. Not working well with the glasses today. Should have put my contacts in. Then I'm going to reach really high. So whichever leg is hooked, that hand is on top. And I'm going to do another step around, slightly differently because we're coming from a slightly different position. But I'm going to take the leg that is hooked and I'm going to follow it around the pole and I'm trying to end up back where I started. So I should end up back with the audience to my side. So arm nice and high, I'm going to take that leg off and I'm going to take my hips towards that leg and I'm going to do a big circle, swapping the feet, and now I'm going to hook the other leg on. Now we're here. I'm going to give you little tips of ways you can make this kind of your own, but you could do some kind of nice leaning back, you could play around with what your arms are doing, you could body roll, you could stroke yourself if you're that way inclined. We're now going to do a cup grip pirouette. So for this, I'll show you from a different angle. So I've got at the moment, let's just say I've got my left leg hooked, my right arm is on top. I'm going to take that top arm, so it would be the opposite to the leg. Turn it palm up, like I've got water in my hand that I'm trying not to spill, and take it across my body to the other side of the pole. I'm going to be turning the direction of my leg. So my left leg is hooked, so I'd be turning to the left. As I do, my little finger is going to roll up to the pole so I can cup my hand on. And I'm going to keep turning. As I do, my elbow will come up and I'm going to push. And I'm going to keep going until the pole is on the side of my body that the hand is. So let me show you this from a different angle. Remember, at the moment, we should just be watching. We're going to break it down, do it together in a moment. So I take my hand across, palm up to the opposite side of the pole, across the body. My little finger's going to roll up as I start to turn. So if your right hand is on the pole, for example, you're turning away from that arm. My leg comes off, my elbow comes up, I push through this hand, and I keep turning, and I keep turning, and I keep turning, and I keep turning. So we add an extra quarter turn at the end. So we do a 360, and then like an extra turn at the end. At that point, the hand is just going to go back on normally. And my leg that is in the air, I'm going to do a big step across. So now I'm coming behind the pole, so the audience is still on my side. And I'm going to drag, turn, step. Drag, turn, step. Drag, turn, step. And you can do as many of these as you want to. We're really letting the hips move with us. I'm dragging on the top of the toenails, sticking my chest out and sticking my bum out. You can either put hands on the pole, hands on the hip. If you're dancy or that way inclined, you could play around with what your arm is doing. You could stroke your body. I have a whole class on how to make your hands and arms look pretty. Now we're going to turn, so we're almost back where we started with the pole on one side. And I'm going to hook my inside leg on from my front hook. So knee hooks fairly low, inside arm high, push the hips forwards, knees wide, toes touching. We're going to slowly slide. We want to end up either slightly diagonal to our audience, facing or sideways. Doesn't actually matter too much, but we don't want to end up with like our back to the audience. Okay, so we want to be sort of able to see our front. Okay, it doesn't need to be perfect. My hand was in what we call a true grip. I'm going to take it off and turn it to cup grip. So this is where I have my thumb and fingers together, my palm is facing out, and it just wraps around the back of the pole. My leg closest to the pole is going to be a bit awkward because it's still hooked around the pole a little bit. So I'm going to take it across to my outside leg, bring it up. Same thing with this leg, it comes across, up and out. Now I'm going to do a little turn, kind of like doing a cup grip pirouette but in a squat position. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my weight into the opposite leg. So if I've got my right arm on, that would be my left. We're going to go right and left fully in a moment, but we want to get the weight into that heel and into that bum cheek. The other foot, I'm going to tuck it under so that I'm on the toenails. I'm going to turn away from that leg and arm. Drag the foot with me, and I'm going to keep turning until I face the pole. Then I'm going to put the foot back on the floor, and then I'm going to lead, sticking the bum out. Okay, that's a lot of information. So now we're going to do front and back view, right and left. Now what's kind of helpful with this is if you just do a section at a time and you pause it. Okay, that can be really, really helpful. But generally doing the back view along with me as you get a bit more confident should be helpful. Okay, and it should work quite well. Always difficult learning these things online, okay? We can do the best we can to give you tools, but without me being there to say, oh, you've got the wrong hand on top now, or oh, you've got the wrong leg in place. It can be challenging. The important thing to remember is I haven't said to move something, you probably don't need to move it. So listen to each of my verbal cues. Right hand reaches, left hand hooks. If you listen and you don't make any movements I haven't said, because people like to overcomplicate things, you've got a high chance of success. Okay, so do right side front view first. So the pole is on my right. Right hand is on top. Right foot is crossed over left. Left hand is on hip. I like to do my little pose. So I'm going to step right, left, right. My audience is behind me. Left hand is going to come to the pole as my left leg draws a big circle. Glue your right foot to the pole and to the floor until your left foot is fully on the floor and you are in the same position. So when I twist, what I mean by that is where your right foot is starting, your left foot is ending up. You're swapping one foot for the other. Turn to face the pole and hook the right leg around the pole. Pop the right hip and take the left hand to the right knee. Stroke down, and if you let your hair kind of fall over your head as you're stroking down, you can flick it up as you stroke back up. Now we're going to reach the right arm high. I'm going to start to turn the hips to the right. Again, left foot is glued to the floor. I'm trying to take my right foot round in a circle to my left foot. So my right leg comes off, my right hip is going to start to pop. You can bend your left knee if that feels good. And you're going to do a big circle, swapping, and now you're going to hook the left leg instead. So now we're going to do our cup grip pirouette. Our right hand is going to come across the pole to the left. Okay, so right hand, palm to ceiling, sorry, just popping my hip back into place. Right hand, palm to ceiling, across to the left. Not too high or too low. I'm going to turn to my left, and as I do, my little finger is going to roll up to the pole. My right elbow is coming up. I keep turning to the left. I push through my right arm, and I keep going until the pole is on my right. At that point, I can change my hand from the thumb down cup grip to the thumb up true grip. I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to step forwards a big step, and I'm going to take right leg drag, turn, step to the right. Left leg, drag, turn, step to the left. Step and drag, step and drag. Loosey-goosey here. Move those hips, move that chest. Do whatever you like with your arms. Okay, so now when I choose to, the next time I step onto my left leg, I'm going to reach my right arm high and hook my right leg. I'm going to push off into my front hook spin. Knees wide, toes touching, hips forward, slide. Landing somewhere either facing or slightly to the side of my audience. My right hand now is going to cup position, so it comes off from thumb up. It's going to go so that I've got palm out. Okay, thumb and fingers glued together, and I'm going to cup it behind the pole. I'm going to take my right leg to my left and then open it out. Same thing, left goes to the right and out. Now, my weight goes into my left heel. And my right foot, I'm going to point the toe and tuck it under. And I'm going to turn to the left, balancing on that left leg, push through the right arm, and keep going until I face the pole. Put the right foot down, get yourself back into both feet. Roll up by sticking the bum and chest out behind me. Okay. Now, if you are completely in over your head, you don't have your prerequisites, you need your prerequisites, okay? Each of these movements is broken down into the tiniest details by itself so you can get really comfortable with it before we put it together. So it's very, very important that you have those skills in place. Otherwise you are going to be like, what is going on? Okay, back for you now, and then we'll do our left side. So the pole is on my right. My right foot is crossed in front of my left. I'm popping my left hip. And my audience is now my window behind me, or in front of me right now, but you know what I mean. So we're going to step onto the right foot first. We go right, left, right. My back is to my audience, which is my window. Left hand comes on, left leg circles, right foot glued to the floor. Try not to jump. Circle, stick your bum out. And then we're going to turn to face the pole and just hook the right leg around the pole. Pop the right hip, take the left hand to the right knee, stroke down. You can see my top hand slides as I do that, and up again. Reach the right hand high. We're going to go to the right or anti-clockwise. I unhook. I start to turn my hips to face the pole, stick my bum out, bring my right foot down where my left one was, and now hook my left leg. Talked before, there's all sorts of things we could do here if we wanted to. Now my right hand, palm up, goes across to the left side of the pole. As I turn to the left, my little finger is going to start to roll up. It is awkward. The elbow is coming in towards your face. I'm going to push through that hand, and I'm going to keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning until the pole is on my right side. I'm then going to put my hand on normal grip. Can be high or low at this point. Left leg is going to step across, and then I'm going to drag my right foot, turn, step, drag, turn, step. So switching from left to right. Whatever you feel like, however many you feel like, however long you feel like doing it for, whatever you want to do here whilst you're there. Next thing we'll do, as we turn to our left, right arm is nice and high, the right leg is going to hook on. I'm going to push my hips forwards, left hand comes on, knees wide, toes touching, slide, 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 until the audience is to kind of your left. So now I'm going to take my right hand and turn it to cup position. Thumb and fingers together, just cupped around the pole, elbow is out to the right. Right leg goes left, right. Left leg goes right, left. I start to take my weight over to my left leg, just very subtle shifting of weight. Point my right foot. Turn to the left, pushing through the right hand. I bring my knees between me and the pole. Flex the right foot under. Lead with the bum to come up. Okay. You may need to rewind and do that a bunch of times to get comfortable with it. But you will get there as long as you've got your prerequisites. Let's go for left now, because we should always be balanced. So, so, so important. If we are not balanced, we are more likely to get injured. But as we get more advanced, there are going to be times where we're swapping directions and sides. So the more comfortable we are on both sides, the greater success you're going to have later on as a pole dancer. Had a little technical issue. So left side, I have the pole on my left arm nice and high, left leg crossed in front of right, right hip popping, hand on hip. Okay, I'm going to step 3 times starting left, right, left. My back is to my audience. My right leg is going to circle as my right hand comes on. Remember, the left foot stays where it is. Circle the right leg to the left leg, swap, and now your left leg, as you turn to face the pole, is going to hook on. We're going to pop the left hip, take the right hand to the left knee, and stroke down and up. Left arm nice and high, we're going to turn to the left. The left leg is leading, and it is drawing that big circle again. I'll step around to the other side. So start to move the hips to the left, step where the right foot was, and now bring the right leg up. We're going to take the left hand palm up to the right side of the pole, and we're going to turn to the right. My little finger goes up as I turn, my elbow starts to lift too. I turn to the right and I push through the left arm, and I keep going until the pole is on my left. I do a big step forward with my right foot, and I'm going to drag the left foot across, turn to the left, step to the left. Right foot drags to the left, turn the hips to the right, step to the right. Drag and turn, drag and turn, drag and turn. Do whatever you want to do with your arms. We're now going to turn so that we have our left hand on top, the pole on our left. So turned to the right, and the left leg is going to hook on. Right hand comes on, push the hips forwards. Knees wide, toes touching, and we're going to slide till the audience is somewhere to our right, whether we're directly side on or more facing or somewhere in between. It's up to you. We're going to take our left hand into a cup grip, so our fingers and thumbs glued together, and we cup the pole behind our head. Left leg is going to go right, open. Right leg is going to go left, open. We're going to shift the weight into the right heel so that I could get my balance into my right leg. Tuck my left toes under, and I'm going to turn to the right, pushing through the left hand, dragging the left foot until I'm facing the pole, and then I can sink back into both feet. And I'm going to stick my bum out and roll up. Okay, back view. So the pole is on my left, left hand is on top, left leg is crossed in front of right, popping my right hip. 3 steps, starting with the left leg. Left, right, left. Remember, my window is now my audience or my front. So my audience is behind me. My right leg is going to circle around as my right hand comes on, stick my bum out, swap one foot for the other, and hook the left leg. Pop the left hip, right hand goes to left knee, stroke down, stroke up. Left hand reaches high. I'm going to follow my leg to the left and do again a little step around. This left foot is trying to come to where the right one is. Stick the bum out, go to the left. Now hook the right leg. We're now going to take the left hand to the right side of the pole, palm up. And remember, as I turn to the right, the little finger is going to roll up to the pole. My elbow comes up, I push through this arm, and I keep going until the pole is on my left. I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to step across, and I'm going to drag, turn, step, drag, turn, step. And I'm swishing my foot and my hips from side to side. I'm then going to turn to the right just before I'm about to go with my left leg across to the right. My left hand is coming up high. Left leg is going to hook. Push the hips forward, knees wide, toes touching. I'm going to slide until my audience is somewhere on my right. I'm going to take my left hand into that cupped position, and my left leg goes right, left, open. Right leg goes left, open to the right. I'm going to get my weight into my right heel, tuck my left toe under, and I'm going to start to turn to the right as I push through my left hand until I can face the pole and get my weight into both feet. And then I'm going to roll up, leading both chest and bum. Okay, I know it is a lot of information, and it's why it's so important that we have strong prerequisites. When we know the individual skills individually really well, it is so much easier to slot them together. So remember, if you're not a member of my Patreon, I've got everything you need to help you. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments, either on YouTube or Patreon. And don't forget to train smarter, not harder.